Really no details. He just started getting sick yesterday, midday. He was in the meetings, started getting sick. It got kind of not good, so tried to get in today and get rest and then get fluids and things. It just wasn't good, and so he was sent home by the docs.
When do you expect him back, John?
It's sickness. When he feels better, when he's not sick anymore. Yeah.
Last year, took a chance on John Simpson. Had a very high penalty to the offensive line coaching your first. Same thing with Josh Jones. You see him playing on the left. So this is
Well, yeah, I mean, talk about John Simpson, obviously. He went on and is doing really well and had a big contract and had a great year for us, most importantly. We were thrilled with that. And you got Josh and other guys who are trying to fill that spot and do the things they got to do to play winning football up front. And they're doing a great job working hard. And that is just part of the process every day of getting better. To me, it's not a one-day thing, obviously. It's an everyday thing over a period of time to build into that kind of winning football.
John, how pleased were you to be able to bring in Eddie Jackson? We've talked to you a lot about the safety depth, and clearly someone who has experience and has played at a high level for a long time.
Very excited to bring in Eddie Jackson. I mean, he's a guy that I can remember like it was yesterday. Boy, time flies. Life is short. Run to the ball. And I remember him running to the ball for Alabama. When we were looking at the draft and having all these good years in Chicago, playing against him. Now to have him here. See, I happened to be at the hotel last night doing bed check when he came in, on his flight, and I was like, "Oh, you're taller than I remember." It's like I just saw him 3 days ago. So he's ready to go. Big smile on his face. Very excited.
Last year, Harbaugh was added like late September. How good is for him to join and be present in the training camp with both players? Harbaugh.
Yeah, Kyle to be here from the beginning is a big difference, And I tell you, Kyle's a pro. He knows how to get himself ready. He proved that last year. But then also the fact that he's a leader. And having him on board as a leader from the beginning is a big plus for us.
John, when you had the first full team meeting, what was kind of your message? Did you have a prevailing message to the team?
Yeah, there's always a prevailing message and a couple stories and kind of set the tone. But this year, probably as much as anything, it was vision and it was standards, and the ability to meet the standard and raise the standard. And the vision that we're working into in a lot of different areas. Had a chance to talk to different guys individually and continue to do that about their vision. And it's amazing how aligned we are person to person. So as a coach, you look for that.
Coach Owen Wright had a lot of reps today.
Who's that?
Owen Wright, the guy making the most opportunities, stacking good practices.
Just talked to Owen Wright, Todd, yesterday about this. And I said, I think you're going to be a surprise breakout kind of guy. He looks really good. He's in great shape. Looked good last year, and I think he's going to pick up where he left off and try to make a name for himself.
John, with the changes to the kickoff rule,
What's that?
with the changes to the kickoff rule, your background obviously, what's the biggest thing to work on now for that? And do you see it being a separation early on for teams that maybe aren't ready?
Well, number one, nobody can really say, because even with the spring league reps, these are different players. So it's going to be a different play than it was in the spring league. Secondly, how's it going to affect us? I don't know either. I'm really hopeful. I'm hopeful that we come out here and we act and look like we know what we're doing. We hope we coach it the right way, and we hope it's an advantage for us first part of the season. So that's what we're going to strive for and do our best. I think that first preseason game, all the fans, we're all going to be watching closely to see what it looks like.
A lot of changes, obviously, in your offseason, a lot of players.
Hey, this is Ronald McDonald House over here, man. They are enthusiastic, aren't they? I'm having a tough time here, and they're so fired up. But
a lot of changes in the offseason, the roster to coaching staff and so forth. Obviously, brought in some guys. How would you describe the level of confidence to not only get back to where we were last year, but once we passed that?
Yeah, no, great question. There is a significant amount of change and probably certainly more coaches than you normally see, probably than anybody had this year around the league. Probably player turnover is probably the same as everybody else. You could look into that and research it. So that is part of how it works in the National Football League, and we embrace it. I think we embrace opportunity on the coaching staff side for these guys to move up into these positions, guys like Zach, Chris Hewitt, and prove themselves even more than they have already, and then embrace it as players too for a guy like Trenton Simpson, getting an opportunity to make a name for himself. So I like our guys, and I'm very optimistic that they'll do very well.
I know you guys have obviously have a bunch of workouts already, OTAs and minicamp.
Who's that?
I know you guys have been out here already for things like minicamp and OTAs, but is it a different feeling for you first day of training camp?
It is. It's a different feeling. I mean, now it's legit, you know. Well, now they have to be here. That's a good thing. But it's I think everybody's focus does dial in a little bit more, a lot more, because the time is at hand. The schedule's in front of us. The countdown's begun, and we're getting ready for something we're about to embark on. It's going to be very, very challenging, but we're up for it.
Tom, back to the kickoff. In terms of the work you did on it in the spring and maybe the research you put into it, do you feel like you have a handle yet on what you're going to do, the way you're going to approach it, or is it still the great unknown even from that part?
Well, we do have a handle on the way we're going to approach it for sure, and then we'll learn about what adjustments we'll have to make. We also know that we're going to learn as we go, and there'll be tweaks, just like there always is. But I am confident that we have a good handle on the angles of the play, the speed of the play, things like that.
We didn't see Marlon Humphrey practice today. He's been a really good practice. How better? I mean, he was pretty much hurt from the beginning of camp last year. How beneficial would it be to have him at full training camp, be healthy and be available?
Oh, having Marlon Humphrey at full speed and at his best would be massively beneficial. And that's what we expect him to be. I mean, he's in great shape. You saw it today in practice. He looked great. Gives us some great versatility in the back end, moving guys around. So, you know, I would never discount Marlon Humphrey if I was an opponent. You know, I believe in Marlon. I think he's one of the best players, one of the very, very best corners in the National Football League.
Do two more. Kyle Hamilton, game tape, practice, what most stands out to you watching Kyle Hamilton?
Man, how do you pick one thing with Kyle Hamilton? Because he's kind of the complete package. I think that's probably what stands out the most. The thing that he and I have been talking about from a vision standpoint, probably as much as anything, is him embracing his position as a respected leader on the team. You know, he's in his third year. It doesn't seem like very long. He just got here, right? But he's an established star player in the league, and he's most highly respected by everybody. So he has already been grown into that leadership role, and I think he's going to blossom even more going forward.
John, whenever you go reach that ultimate goal, there's going to be some criticism, and a lot of criticism gets directed at the quarterback, Lamar. And you've always been very supportive of Lamar. How do you kind of address that criticism?
That's a great question. You know, it's like, you ever heard the old saying, you guys played sports, they used to tell you don't read your press clippings, right? We don't really have press clippings anymore. We got the phones and the computers. Press clipping, at least if it was bad, you could throw it up and throw it in the trash can. Now I want to. So I do flip through them, to be honest with you. I read the stuff. I see the guys say what they say on the shows. At least I get clips of them because they come up on your phone. And the good ones I just scroll past because, you know, that's candy, you know, that's not real. But the bad ones, it's like you wrote, I read it right away, you know, and don't let it go. And that's okay. That's part of the deal. And Lamar, for whatever reason, you know, there's a lot of great things said about Lamar, but there's a lot of stuff that's said that you got to just scratch your head about and kind of wonder, what's that person even thinking, you know? So, but we take it personally. You know, Lamar's a guy all his life. Lamar Jackson has been a guy who's been answering those same questions. I'm talking about since he was a kid, junior high, high school, college, the draft, the success he's had in the National Football League, and it still comes up. Okay? And he's still growing. He's got a growth mindset. He's going to get better and better, no doubt. But what does he have to do to prove himself to some people, right? And so the thing for me is it's talking about vision again. You know, there's a vision. And I believe the Ravens and we've always had a vision for Lamar Jackson. It started with Lamar's vision and his mom's vision when he said he was going to be a quarterback. He was going to be a quarterback in high school. He was going to be a quarterback in college. He was going to be a quarterback in the National Football League. And we bought into that. We embraced it. We built an offense for it at 19. We're building another offense for it in 23 and 24 going forward, right? The next iteration of our offense around Lamar Jackson. Because in my opinion, the vision for Lamar Jackson, and it's a vision, it's something you see it like it's already happened. You can see it like it's already been done. The victory has already been won when you pour into a vision. And the vision that we have together is that Lamar Jackson is going to become and be known and be recognized as the greatest quarterback ever to play in the history of the National Football League. That's the vision, all right? It's going to happen by Lamar, his work ethic, and his brilliant talent, by all of us pouring into that effort together as a team, teamwork, and by the grace of God and God's goodwill. That's how it's going to happen. And I believe it like we've already seen. Okay?
Sorry to cut you off, but I just want to give a huge, because I see him over there, I want to give a huge shout out to the Ronald McDonald House. If y'all ever got a chance to check them out and, see what they do, please do. I do a lot with them, during the fall. So yeah, check them out. I appreciate it. But for me, it feels good. Year 4, blessed, I'm excited, and we're going to see what's in store.
Rashod, how do you feel, going into this camp versus this time last year, and how much did the foot kind of impact you, even not just between the year, but onward?
The foot is healed. It's not a problem anymore, thank God. Obviously, this year is different than last year. I'm healthy 100%, and that's all I can say about it, man. I don't really want to keep talking about my injuries. It's past me. That's the past now. So we're on to bigger and better things now.
With that focus on the future, you've been very candid, very honest in saying it's not the expectation that I want for myself the last couple of years. So when you think about what you want to achieve this season, when you envision that success, what does that look like to you?
Super Bowl. It's not about me. I need to do what's best for this team, whatever that is, whatever my role is, I expect my role to be bigger. I'm ready to take on that role. So we'll see what happens.
John Harbaugh has talked about you having a bigger role. He feels like this is going to be a huge breakout season for you. What do you feel like has to happen for you to have the type of year you feel like you're capable of having?
Continue to stay healthy, and I just got to, go out and show consistency. So Lamar can trust me, so the team can trust me, so Todd Monken can trust me. I just got to go out and do my job.
We know Lamar's out with an illness. Just for day one, how big is it to have someone like Josh that's done this for 10 years now versus having just a couple of rookies running your first team?
It's definitely good to have Josh. He's an old head around here, so he's a good leader for us. He teaches us a lot when it comes to the game of football, and he definitely leads us in the right direction, so it's good to have him out there.
Rashod, you've had a year under Coach Monken's offense now. Some of the same guys back, Zay Flowers, Nelson Aguilar. Is there a level of comfortability you have now going into this offseason or this training camp?
I would definitely say this is the most comfortable I've been, with the team and the players coming back. We all are pretty close. We stay in touch, tight-knit group. When we come out here and work, we help each other and we try to give each other the best advice. So it's definitely a blessing to come out and play with guys that want to get better every day.
Can you talk about your off-season training? Being healthy allowed you to train this off-season. We saw the ridiculous jumping videos that you posted on this. How high of a platform has that built for you going into this season?
A lot, because this was the first off-season that I've been able to, really dive into, what I wanted to. I trained a lot, 3-4 times a day, every day. So hopefully, it pays off. But yeah, I did a lot of working out this summer for sure.
What kind of things were you working on? Would you like to see
Running, route running, catching, just, learn how to become a better football player.
Rashod, were you wearing a sweatshirt while you were out there like a pretending football?
Yes. It's humid out here. I got to be prepared for this. I train in Arizona, but it's different. I don't know what's going on today.
Mark Andrews missed some time last year, but that really allowed Isaiah Likely to kind of break out. What do you think that could look like this year with both of them?
Say it again.
Mark Andrews missed some time last year, but that allowed Isaiah Likely to kind of break out. What do you think that could look like this year with both of them?
I'm excited to see what it looked like. I don't really know either. You got this guy, you got this guy, you got that guy. And at the end of the day, you got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So, I'm kind of like everybody else. I'm just excited to watch it.
You talked about being more comfortable and being better physically. What does that do for you mentally coming into the season knowing you're 100%, you've gone through your full off? How are you mentally?
I feel good.
Honestly, right now, we just coming out every day and going to work, trying to get better every day. We just focus on day to day, and we focus on the first game. So we just coming out every day trying to work, get better, listen to our coaches, and execute everything to the best we can.
So you had a heck of a rookie season. When you think about taking it to the next level, what are the things that you think about
I'll take the whole game to the next level. Everything, just from blocking to catching. So I'm trying to get better at everything, and I'm trying to improve every year and prove all the doubters wrong.
What do you think they down to, though? What are they down?
I don't know, but I'm just go out and show them whatever they say I can't do.
Last season, you hit the rookie record in receiving yards for the franchise. How do you set the bar higher for yourself?
Go get the regular record. Go get the record that try to get the record that's the highest, honestly. But I just want to win. I just want to, we had a great season last year. We want to improve on that and get to the ultimate goal.
So do you think defense is going to affect you any differently now after the strong season?
Honestly, they got to worry about two other people, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So I'm the third option, fourth option, whatever it is. I'm not the first. So them boys, they got to go cover that first.
Zay, you had a great year last year, got to put a lot of your skill set on display. Do you feel like there was something that you feel like you can do that maybe wasn't shown a lot of last year?
Probably deep passes, probably more deep passes. I feel like I can go get them. Like, if they're in the air, I'll go get them. So that's one of the things I want to improve on, to answer your question too, but I'll say that's one of the things, just hitting more deep balls, because that's what I did in college, so I want to come out and try to hit more this year.
Say with this being the first training camp practice, kind of turning the page to 2024, you look back at how last season ended, how much are you thinking about that and using that as motivation, or is it kind of just
It's over now. I get to see them first game, so we'll go play then, and then what's in the past already in the past. It already happened, so can't do nothing about that now.
Does having this week one add a different edge to training camp?
What you think? Yeah, I think so. It's a little bit, but we focus on ourselves though. Because when I was a kid before, I tried to take a picture with somebody, but I ain't gonna mention no names, but they told me no, and I ain't really like it as a kid. Because that was my first time being a professional player, so any chance I get with the kids, I try to do as much as I can. So Zayday, I did that back in the neighborhood I grew up at, the park where I grew up at, the park where my mom passed. So it was important for me to go back and do that for my community and just stand in front of everybody and show them they could do the same thing I can do. And out here, we had a great day in Baltimore. We had it at Spalding High School, and it was a great day. Probably 1,000 kids came out. It was a fun day. I got a longer break. That's probably the best thing. But I went to work. I went to work the same way I went to work last season. Last off season. But I'm ready to go play football again and just get back into it.
So you talked about how Derrick Henry involved in option 1 or 2. Having Derrick Henry on this offense, how does that open it up for you?
You seen him before? You seen him in person? Yeah, you gotta stop. Like, you gotta stop that first before you worry about somebody of my stature.
In terms of the people around us, do you get a sense of satisfaction out feeling the safety off and get better coverage?
I get satisfaction peeling anybody off, honestly. Like, I feel like if any receiver get in space or they get in separation, they're gonna find satisfaction now all day and want to run routes and win. So, yeah, I feel like the more separation I get and stuff, the more the satisfaction it is.
You talk about making more deep plays. What do you feel like is it going to take for you to make more of those plays?
Probably just running more of them and just, working on them with LJ and working on them as a group, honestly, because I don't think we had a lot last year, so we want to come out and improve.
Say, what do you think is different about Rashod Bateman now compared to when he joined you guys at camp last year?
I don't think anything is different. He had a few things that was going on, but he locked in. He's always been locked in, and we had a good team last year, so it's one football. It only can go around so many times, and I think we all understood that. So this year it's just me and him, and we're gonna try to go to work and do the best and do everything we can.